Hi, Dan.
Hi there, you right?
Yeah, good, mate. How about yourself?
Yes, not too bad, mate. Not too bad.
Good stuff. I don't hope you don't mind. I'll have to have my camera off because my Wi-Fi is having a bit of a nightmare. So it's probably the safest way that nothing will happen.
Okay, yeah, that's all right. No problem.
Just a heads up.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I need to give you what's it to join, don't I?
To host, yeah, that's absolutely fine. The web, yeah, that'll be fine. If I'll click through that, then I can share my screen and do it that way. If that's all right with you.
It's absolutely fine by me, mate. There you are. You should have all the access you need.
Perfect. Let's okay, let's gotta just pick the right one now. Sure.
Yeah, hopefully that's up.
Cool. Let's move this out of the way. And then that should be able to see that. Brilliant. Cool. Why is that going? Okay, here we go. Brilliant. You can see that picture slide there, Will, yeah?
Yeah, all good.
In full screen, perfect. So those that are joining with us coming through now, we're going to give it a couple more minutes till 7. Just let the opportunity for other people to join, and then we'll make a start. There's still a couple of people trickling in, so we're just going to give it one more minute, a couple more minutes to let people have the opportunity to join, and then we'll kick off. Okay, let's go ahead and make a start, and then people can join in as we're going along. So thanks everyone for taking the time out of your Thursday evenings to join us today. This is a joint webinar between myself, Dan from BookTech, and we've also got Will joining us from Pitch Hero as well. Do you want to say hi, Will?
Evening, guys.
So this webinar is just going to go through the relationship that BookTech and Pitch Hero have, with a little bit more focus on a specific new feature that we're developing that's going to be available towards the end of the year called Sessions. So that's going to be the main crux of it, but we also are going to provide a nice overview of the system anyway. Your control panels within Zoom, I think down the bottom, there should be either a chat function or a Q&A function as well. Throughout the webinar, if you do have any questions, don't be afraid to put them in those chat boxes. We'll spend some time right at the end going through them and making sure that we can answer all your questions to the best of our ability. Okay, so just to give an overview of the agenda today, we're going to be speaking about Pitch Hero and BookTech together. We're going to be providing an overview about the partnership, how that's going, and the benefits for that. We're then going to go into how BookTech is actually going to be beneficial to a club such as yourselves. We're going to have a brief demo of BookTech with a little bit more emphasis on Sessions, the new feature that is out over the coming months. We're going to speak about pricing, the all-important pricing points, and then lastly, we're going to discuss next steps. So a little bit about BookTech. BookTech is a product of Playfinder. So Playfinder is the company that I work for. And under Playfinder, we have developed a product called BookTech. So BookTech we describe as a venue management system. We provide it to a range of organisations and venues for them to manage the booking process at their facility. So we work with organisations such as clubs, schools, councils, and community centres. It was mainly used for, at the start, for sports pitches, specifically sort of grass and 3G pitches. But over the last year and through its development, we've realised the potential is not just around sports facilities, but any type of space hire that you as an organisation or that you as a venue may have. One thing that we've spotted that is quite common, especially around Pitch Hero members, is clubs having facilities such as clubhouses, bars, function rooms, and also putting on specific events such as weddings, parties and conferences and things like that. So this is a piece of software that is going to be able to manage any type of booking on any type of facility. Our mission as an organisation has always been to increase revenue for facilities, being able to provide a platform for people to book your facilities online, increasing exposure and making that customer journey a lot easier. We've also been on a mission to reduce your admin time, reduce the time it takes for you to go through the booking process step by step. And one of our main ones as well has been to keep the community engaged. We believe by engaging with the community and ensuring that they have improved accessibility to their local facilities, that we can sort of forge a great relationship with the people around the venue. So that's BookTech. This is a little bit about Playfinder. So Playfinder as a company has been going for around 8 or 9 years now, and was essentially created as a marketplace for customers to go online, search up local sports facilities, and go ahead and book those facilities online. So think of it as kind of an open table for sports facilities, essentially. We get around 100,000 users that come through the website every month. And we have over 600 venues signed up as clients who display their availability through our marketplace. We rank very, very high with our SEO optimization. So your venue will rank highly in key search terms on Google. And we've also introduced a search by time feature. So this will allow customers to actually specifically highlight what time they're actually looking to play. And we've shown that actually increases booking conversions 5 times over since that inception. We've also had a really big update on our app. So we've got a brand new app that's been going now for the next month. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But this is the marketplace that people can go to search up local sports facilities. So anyone who is using BookTech also has the ability to list their venue on the marketplace and gain more exposure and bookings through that way. So we're going to take a little bit more a look into the actual partnership itself, and we have over 20 customers currently using BookTech at the moment. So I'm just going to pass over to Will. He's going to talk through the next few slides for you.
Yeah, cheers, Dan. So essentially the partnership came around with ourselves at Pitch Area looking for that extra thing of wanting to be able to offer clubs the ability to essentially utilize all the space they've got at the club. Obviously we offer the ability to have your website, but in terms of increasing revenue for clubs, it's always a benefit if you can get things on board in terms of renting out your, whether it's like your nets, 3G pitches, clubhouse, etc. And to be honest, with BookTech/Playfinder having very similar sort of values to us in terms of helping community and helping clubs get the best out of what they can, it was sort of a match made in heaven, especially with them being the top of the class. With this, obviously, it allows you to fully integrate BookTech into Pitch Hero, so it's sort of all under one roof as well, which is sort of an ideal for us. So yeah, that's sort of the crux as to why the partnership's formed and how it came about on our side. So if you want to just move on to the next slide, Dan, that'd be great. So yeah, just a little bit of background in terms of essentially what we feel that you guys can get out of it. So obviously you've got the main sort of bulk of things as a club, using this graphic as the example. Obviously you've got like the grass pitches, you can rent out the clubhouse, as we've said. You've got various other things like the indoor pitches down there. You can definitely use them. You can monetize all the spaces that you've got. The things that you can look out for that some people have started using that we've had some feedback from customers on is things like just like little grass areas, what they normally use for, I don't know, it could literally just be like a car parking space on a Saturday when there's games on. You could use that throughout the week where it's not going to interfere with anything that's going on at the club. You can rent it out to like PTs. So there's like boot camps and things of that nature going on. It all helps bring in that extra revenue to the club. And it's certainly something that we've had feedback on that clubs have enjoyed using when they've been using the BookTech facility. So yeah, it's definitely a big benefit. And then speaking specifically on the integration, it's ideal because clubs can embed the BookTech feature into the calendar on Pitch Hero, so it'll all sort of appear under one roof. It'll all be there for you. Nothing sort of more to go through, no additional admin work, go into various other sites. So with the calendar being on Pitch Hero and it all being under one roof, what you'll find is that members will be able to go in on the website. There'll be a booking feature. They'll be able to see all the available slots. They can then book through there. Additionally, from that, if you ever get any requests from members saying, I want to use the 3G pitch you've got for a five-a-side tournament, something like that, you can literally just send them to that area. They can go through and then book at their convenience. And that's obviously available 24/7 as well. With this, you've also got obviously payments, the email confirmation. There's all invoicing and stuff like that is managed by BookTech within their online platform. So that's all brilliant and really helpful. It sort of helps with the admin side of things again. Takes everything away from being sort of that old-fashioned thing of someone sat in a corner and with pen and paper working through everything. And obviously, additionally to that, clubs can manage who has access. So similarly to Pitch Hero, obviously you can manage the access that you guys will be familiar with in terms of giving people the relevant access to like being a webmaster, a team admin, things of that nature. You can also do that on BookTech. So yeah, that's that side of things. And then I think we're into something that you guys will all recognize, the admin dashboard. So as you can see, on the left-hand side navigation bar, the facilities booking section, that is where you'll be able to get involved and get this all set up. So when you go in there, it's a case if you want to get set up, you go to the Get Started Today, connect to BookTech. And then once you go through there, it'll be a case of BookTech will be notified and then someone will be in contact with you about this. And additionally from that, you'll get a lovely 30-day free trial on it. So there's no strings attached to that. If you guys use it and go, yeah, this is brilliant, we'll get on board with it. That's great. And if you feel it's not for your club, then no worries at all. There's no strings attached, so you're not tied into anything. Right, I think we are back over to yourself now, Dan.
Yes, thank you, Will. So this, taking back to BookTech here, this is a brief product roadmap of the direction that we're taking BookTech over, especially this year. So if you see at the top three features at the start, we have a new Playfinder mobile app, which I mentioned previously. So we always had one that allows customers to download it, go online, search and book obviously their local sports facilities. It's just taken a massive makeover. It's been re-released and we're expecting really big things to come from that. We've also released PaySplit, which provides the opportunity for customers to actually share a payment for a booking amongst their friends and family through social media outlets. And we've also got the customer portal, which is a customer's own login account where they're able to view, edit and pay for all their bookings that they've been involved in through any venue that is actually using BookTech to manage that booking process. So it puts a little bit more onus on the customer. It allows them to be in charge of, making payments on time, and they'll be able to edit and cancel bookings if something comes up. So it's all about, again, putting more onus on the customer, making sure that you as the venue operator don't have to do all the chasing and running around on behalf of them. The bottom three are things that are coming very, very soon. Instant block bookings and payment plans. They're sort of in a bit of a bundle, really. They provide, again, the opportunity for the customer to be able to block book online. So I understand probably many of you deal with block bookings all the time, and they can be a little bit of a headache, especially chasing payments and having to remind yourself to send invoices and collect debtors from these longer term, higher value bookings. But what this feature will do, it will introduce the capacity for the customer to be able to do that. They'll be in control and will be able to take those block bookings, but it will also just based on your venue's availability. So customers won't be able to just go and book whatever they like. It will be based on availability, and also you will have the ability to approve or reject those bookings as they come in. As part of this feature, you'll also have payment plans. So especially for longer term block bookings with high value bookings, people aren't going to be able to book or pay for those in one lump sum. So we'll have the ability to issue invoices and issue direct debits on a weekly, monthly or quarterly basis. And again, this is going to be completely automated. So you don't have to remind yourself, oh, it's the end of the week, I had to send all these invoices out to all these block bookers. It will be done automatically through the system. And lastly, activities and camps. One of the main things that we're going to be talking about on this webinar will allow you as a venue to create and manage your own sessions, your own classes, boot camps, summer camps, courses, anything that has the ability to have sort of a limited number of spaces of customers. And we're going to go through that in a little bit more detail later on. So what we're going to take a look at now is the new feature, or this is going to be a demo. So it's going to include a brief overview of the BookTech system from the back end. So everything that you're going to see through this demo is going to be what you as the venue operator is going to see when logging in. It's going to be a brief overview of the system, and we're going to take a look at how you would actually create and manage sessions as well. And we're also going to have a brief view of what the customer is going to see if they want to book something online. Hi everyone, and welcome to today's BookTech demo. When you first log into your BookTech account, this is the first page you're going to see, and this is a data analytics dashboard. It provides key statistics of how your venue's performing over the last 30 days and also over the last year, spotting trends such as monthly revenue and utilization, and also providing breakdowns by space, activity, and also by booking source. What we're going to take a look at now is the calendar layout of BookTech. This is where you're going to be able to see what is going on day to day at your venue. As you can see, we can see all the bookings here by looking at the spaces and facilities down the left-hand side, and also with the day and time across the top. There's a range of different colours that show different natures of the booking. So we have block bookings, we have sessions, reservations, and even custom events. I can actually interact with bookings through this calendar page. By clicking on edit booking, I can see more details of the booking and also manage payments and send invoices. We also have on the left-hand side our bookings database, showing you all booking activity that has ever taken place across the venue. We have the ability to search advanced reporting through any of the fields here, which can also be downloaded into your own spreadsheet. We have the same formats with customers. This customer database is going to store all customers that have ever attended your venue, and we'll also be able to see each customer's individual activity since they've joined. One of the main aspects of this demo and why we've brought you here today is to take a look at sessions. Sessions is a feature that is going to be coming out over the next few months towards the end of the year and will allow you to create classes, activities, boot camps and courses. Creating a session is really simple. All we have to do is go into new booking, which shows us a range of different bookings that we can actually create. We can go to sessions, and now we have the option to fill out all the necessary information. I'm going to call this walkthrough football. I'm going to select a tag of training and a class. We have the ability to select gender, input an age range as well, standard of this class, and also activity type. We also have the ability to put in a short description and upload an image if we need to as well. Once we continue, we can now select the space or the facility where this activity is going to take place. We can select a date and a time, and of course, a duration. Once we've also selected our price per person, we can continue further and actually indicate session capacity. So how many people are going to be able to join this session, and also set parameters on booking periods and times. Once all that information is selected, we can go ahead and publish our session. We can view all sessions from our sessions table as so. This gives a really nice overview of all the different sessions we have ongoing and includes information such as the organiser, the session title, how many participants, and also the payment status of that session. Once you've created a session, it will appear in your calendar like so. Taking on a purple colour. Again, similarly to how I showed you before of navigating through a booking through the calendar, we can click on this and are able to see the details of the session and also go ahead and edit this session. We can see that this activity is a recurring one as it's taking place on multiple days. I can see how many spaces have been taken. I can see my further details of the game, and I can also see my participants here. People can obviously book online to these sessions, but you also have the ability to add participants on their behalf. Any customer that has actually been to the venue before, their details will be saved and you'll be able to search up their information and input them as so. We can include our price and we can actually manage the payment for that booking as well. As I mentioned before, the capabilities of sessions isn't just going to be through the back end, but it's also going to be through the front end. So people will eventually be able to book through your website for sessions that you've created. Let's take a look at what that looks like for the customer. We're going to go on our widget settings and take a look at what our widget, our online booking calendar looks like at the moment. So this is a mock-up widget. This is what will be placed on your own Pitch Hero website. We have the ability to either book a facility, so a football pitch, just a normal booking, but now we have the ability to join and book a session. I can click on that. I can choose exactly what type of session I want to join, and then I have the ability to view if it's available and join. By filling in normal details and confirm and book, I would have been able to join that session. Along the left-hand side of our control panel, as I mentioned before, is how we navigate through the system with some key features here. When first getting to grips with BookTech, you will need to go through the venue settings page and make sure your venue is set up correctly. So things such as venue information, space and facilities, and price schemes are really essential to get you up and running. If you do decide to sign up, our BookTech team will be here to support you throughout that process, provide training and constant onboarding support. Thank you very much for listening. Brilliant. Well, I hope that provided a nice overview, and I also hope that the sound was working there, because I've assumed that you could all hear the voiceover. So I imagine there was no problems there. Let's kick on with the next slide. Hi, everyone. There we go. Okay, so the main reason why we're here, new feature alert, as I mentioned, officially going to be releasing more towards the end of the year, and we're calling it sessions for the moment. So as I mentioned, this is the ability to create, edit and view a range of different activities where there can be a range of people to join, such as a class. It could be a summer boot camp that you could put on as a club. It could also be specific courses that you could run as well. As we showed, you have a session table that will show all past, present and future activities. You'll be able to download all this information. It's readily available, so you can see what sessions you're putting on, who is participating in those sessions, what the cost of those sessions are, the dates, and what facility that class, course, or whatever is taking place. People have the ability to book online, but you can also add participants to sessions on their behalf and then manage the payment for that session as well. The sessions will be fully updated online, so any spare capacity of a session will work in the exact same way as availability for a facility such as a football pitch. It will all be an exact mirror image of what you are managing in BookTech. So if you already have 5 participants for a 10-person class, then obviously online there will only be 5 spaces shown. So it's a complete mirror image, and you don't have to worry about any double bookings or lag taking place. The reason why this is such an exciting feature is we believe it's going to add an extra stream of revenue to the club, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more in a sec. And also we believe it has the ability to build and connect with your local community by attracting more people to attend the venue more regularly, and we're going to speak a little bit more about that next as well. So why should you use sessions? You might be sitting there thinking, that's great, but what benefit is it going to bring to me? The first point is going to be extra revenue streams. We've been looking as a venue, I suppose, similar or very sort of the same amount of type of bookings that you're taking. It could be you've always had a football pitch and you've managed training, or it always could be you've got a clubhouse and you take, you know, regular parties, regular conferences, things like that. But now there's a new range of activities, a new sort of world where you can go into and actually create more opportunities whether that's revenue, whether that's community-based, things such as yoga, Pilates, courses, summer camps that you could put on to generate more revenue. This could be, I know Will spoke about earlier when he had the image up of your club and there was that patch of grass in the bottom left-hand corner that could be unused. That could turn into a summer boot camp area. There's loads of weird and wonderful ways you can reinvent spaces to be able to take on this new feature and generate some extra revenue for the organisation. A big one that we believe is the community aspect. If you think about sessions as a whole, if you think about a spin class, for instance, I know most of you don't, are probably not going to have bikes in an office, but the concept is still the same. People go to the gym, people go to classes on a regular basis. They meet people, they socialize, and they become really, really good friends. The regular interaction, the regular touch points that it could be current members or it could even be new members that are going to realize that you're holding on a specific class or a specific course and are going to gain attraction. They're going to turn up on a, whether that's a weekly or monthly basis, and all of a sudden you've got the ability to attract a new lifelong member. And like I said before, people form relationships around regular classes. Kids can socialize. And as these new people are coming and they're regular touch points and they're turning up more regularly to your venue, there could be other aspects of the club that you could utilize more. This could be a cafe. This could be a customer that didn't realize that you actually do weddings, or you've got a clubhouse where you can rent out a bar. So there's all these new opportunities for people to come in, to realize the club is around the corner, to make new friends, forge new relationships, and actually be the heartbeat of the local community. Customer retention. This is a really, really important one, because if people are coming more regularly and they're enjoying their experience, they've enjoyed their booking experience through BookTech, and they've come to they've come to the venue and they've enjoyed their booking and meeting new people, then you've got more likely of that customer returning. And I think we actually done a study around Tooting and Mitcham, which is a club that we work with in South London. It was a huge amount of customers, because they enjoyed the booking experience, because they valued how easy it was to be able to book online. 20% of their new customers that were able to be achieved through BookTech and Playfinder actually ended up booking 10 or more times. So it's really, really important. If they've enjoyed that experience, then the more likelihood they're going to come back. And lastly, it can be a new way to actually help with your day-to-day bookings. Events could be one where you could actually run specific events where there's a limited capacity on people turning up to that specific event. It could be a dinner, it could be a lunch, something like that. Also training. How many coaches would benefit from actually creating a session where they can manage certain players or young kids actually turning up to that training session, and having a more of a sort of a robust and logical way of actually managing that training session. There's going to be ways in which you can actually highlight, if kids have certain allergies, parents are going to actually be able to sort of book on behalf of their children as well in the coming months. So again, it really, really opens up the idea of new pathways to actually use a feature like sessions. So we've spoken about sessions quite a lot over the last couple of slides and their real benefits. But I want to talk about BookTech as a sort of a general offering, and why we believe that is going to be beneficial to you as a whole and not just this specific feature. There's two things in which we pride on BookTech, which I mentioned at the start as well. The first thing is increasing revenue, and the second one is reducing admin time. Increasing revenue, we want to be able to provide a system where customers are really able to find your facilities and be able to book them in a really quick and easy way. The more accessible you make your facilities to people, the more opportunities people are going to have to book. And as I mentioned before, if they enjoy that booking experience, the chance of them returning are very, very high. As I mentioned before, that second point there, if you have an online booking infrastructure, our research shows, compared to just an email address or a phone number on your website, you're actually 5 times more likely to convert on bookings, which is a huge difference to just having a web page that displays an email address or telephone number. And the great thing about BookTech as well, as I mentioned, it's not just about increasing accessibility for sports facilities, but also around clubhouse and general space hire. We have a range of other key features such as additional questions and also add-ons, which allows you to actually ask customers specific questions about their booking. And also we have add-ons which will allow you to put on extra services for the customer in your venue. Things such as, it could be equipment, it could be kitchen space hire, overhead projectors, catering options. These are all really great examples of an add-on that you could provide to the customer. Secondly is reducing admin. I've spoken to so many volunteers with clubs such as yourself, and one thing is the amount of time it takes to actually manage that booking process, the amount of time to keep up with customers and making sure that everyone is paying on time. And BookTech digitizes that procedure for you and really helps to knuckle down and get those tasks done really quickly and efficiently. Things such as cancellations. You've got the ability to actually set a window through BookTech, which allows you to actually, cancellations to happen automatically and refunds to take place automatically as well. Allowing people to book online themselves, especially with the introduction of instant block bookings that is coming over the next month or so. The onus is going to be on the customer. You're not going to be on the phone as much or answering emails as much to actually chase them and having to look through a calendar to make sure that it all fits. They'll have the ability to do all of that themselves. We also have a range of daily, weekly and monthly reporting. We touched on it briefly during the demo on the bookings database, where we can search specific fields. You can search things such as payment status, booking type for space, facility, and really have the ability to actually get to grips on performance, utilization, how much revenue, which is really good for reporting purposes. And especially if you're using an accounting system on the side, we have features that will allow you to import all your invoice data directly into that system. So again, it's really about reducing the time it takes to go through all those bookings, go through all that admin. We really want to speed that process up. And it's just about helping you, making your life as easy as possible. We're going to go through a quick case study. This is with Stamford AFC Football Club. They came to us before sort of the start of the year. And this was a few challenges that they had. They weren't seeing enough utilization among their main pitches outside of their regular customer base. And the same went with facilities that are outside of sport. So things such as space hire, meeting rooms, clubhouses, things like that. So we sat down with them, we offered them BookTech. They wanted something that they could manage through a centralized system and also facilitate the ability for people to go and book online, which will sort of increase accessibility again. So hopefully generating an extra bit of revenue and getting usage up as well for those facilities. These are the results that we actually saw. So BookTech allowed the staff and the volunteers at the club to be able to streamline that process a lot more efficiently. So they were spending less time on admin tasks and more time on other stuff that needed their attention. The pitches in general were well utilized, but the online booking process, having that widget on their pitch or website, meant that they could fill extra space and extra capacity, get a bit more extra revenue, especially through sort of off-peak hours as well. So a few numbers. In the first 6 months of using BookTech, space hire bookings have actually made 13% of the bookings at Stamford AFC. So that's seen a massive increase. We take a look at the second point, their monthly revenue has increased 21%, which is a great statistics. And they have increased venue utilization by 7% just in those first 6 months. So that's the first 6 months of using BookTech. That's even before summer. That's before, people are going to be a lot busier looking for these types of facilities. So it's been a great 6 months for Stamford, and we're really excited to see how they sort of develop again for the second half of the year. And we've got Sean Gallagher, treasurer, had that to say on the left-hand side. So really happy with the service that BookTech has provided. So the all-important aspect of BookTech, pricing. we have a subscription fee and some small commission fees that we charge. So our subscription fee is £30 per month, and that's inclusive of VAT. There is a 1.25% maintenance fee, so very, very small, only on online transactions. So any bookings that are managed via, or where the payment is managed via cash or direct debit or even check, any offline method won't be subject to that charge. You will also have the ability to be listed on our Playfinder marketplace with 3% per booking, and that's a completely optional add-on which can essentially be switched on and off at any point. So the question we always ask ourselves, especially when showing people the price, is what is your average clubhouse booking? What is your average pitch booking or space hire booking at the moment? Even if we got you one booking per month through the online calendars, the software will pay for itself. With our new features coming out and the ability for customers to have more onus, to take more control, and with sessions and instant block bookings, we really, really believe that you will see a huge return on investment, especially like Sean said with Stamford AFC and then some. And as we mentioned before, a huge relief in terms of admin time, really, really helping with those day-to-day tasks. If you're still not convinced, then we also have a 1 month free trial. So you have the ability that if you do sign up for your Pitch Hero control panel, you have the ability to use it for a complete month, and you can leave at any point during that month. So if you go, do you know what, this isn't for us, or we don't like it, it's not serving its purpose, you can go fine and you can walk away before that month is over. So it's completely up to you. You can get a full month of actually using the software before you actually start paying for it. So the way you sign up today, the next steps, if you are interested and have been excited by today's webinar, you can get in contact with the BookTech team. There will be an email that goes around directly, probably first thing in the morning, that will provide a recording of this webinar to everyone that's signed up, and also a Calendly link to be able to book a time with myself. So if you do want to chat a little bit further about how we can help, if there's anything we haven't gone through today, then I'll be more than happy to go through and even take a bit more of an in-depth demo of BookTech itself. So by going to the facility booking page, as Will showed you earlier in the webinar, you'll be able to navigate through those steps, complete a venue information form, be in touch with your own client manager, who will then provide training and constant support with our operations team. As I mentioned in the demo, our ops team actually works 7 days a week. So if you're a little bit worried about support, if you're a little bit worried about, at the weekends, if something might go wrong, there will still be someone within the team that you can call or email to actually help you with that. And as I mentioned before, the big key thing here is the 1 month free trial. So even if you didn't like it, you still got that usage out of it. You can still have a tinker about and have a play around with it. And if it's not for you, then it's not for you and you can walk away. That brings us to the end of our webinar today. Again, thank you very much for everyone who's taken the time out to join. As I mentioned right at the start, I'm going to just leave a minute or so. If there's any questions that anyone has, that, something that I may have missed, something at your club that you're experiencing as a problem at the moment that you feel that BookTech may be able to help with, or just any sort of queries or concerns at all, then there should be a chat or a Q&A function at the panel at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Just fire it in there and I'll be happy to answer that. So I'll just leave a short period of time for anyone who wants to answer a question, ask a question. Okay, it seems like there are no questions coming through. So if no one else has anything to say, again, thank you very much for joining today. As I mentioned, there will be an email that will go out in the morning. So if, again, there's anything that springs to mind, I'll be happy to chat. Will, thank you very much for joining me today as well. Oh, we've got one Q&A. Okay, so Steve, can we block out existing sessions the club runs? Can we block out existing sessions the club runs? So yes, you can. So if you want to run, I'm going to assume you mean if the club is running their own session and you don't want that session to be shown online for other people to book. I assume that's what you mean by that. And if that is the case, then yes, you can sort of manage your own sessions internally in the back end and actually not make them public. You can make them private, so you can actually manage that yourself. So yes is the answer to that question. Okay, brilliant. Any last chance to ask any questions around what you've seen today? Okay, I think that's all. So again, thank you very much, Will. Thank you again for joining me today. It's been really great.
No worries. Cheers for hosting it, Dan. I'm sure everyone's found it really helpful.
Brilliant. Okay, brilliant. Thank you, everyone. Again, get in touch if there's any questions. A recording will go around, and hopefully, I'll speak to some of you very soon. So have a lovely evening and enjoy the weekend.